How the induction go?
Welcome to Unpopular Opinions 601. This is session 5. I have with me
Quinn,
Monique,
Vance.
Ebony.
and I'm Albert. Al, whatever. Alright, so we got a couple things we're going to talk about today. Had got them sent out to everybody this time in advance, so we have a little bit of prep time. If they looked at it.
I didn't.
Had one person in the group that didn't get the opinions beforehand because of a texting error. Oops. Next time I'll do better.
All right now.
So, the first thing I want to talk about is this young lady that was in Texas
oh yes,
who got beat up on camera by a supposed white supremacist white man. It's one of the last things I sent out today.
similar instance to the incident that happened in McDonald's. Kind of reminded me of that.
What is the incident? at
The
McDonald's?
incident at McDonald's over another white man
yeah.
reached across the counter
No, this one was worse.
and got wore out though by the young lady. But this was worse. It could have been even worse because he was armed.
Yeah.
So
I didn't know he was supposedly a white supremacist though.
I don't know. That's what I had seen.
I read that. Immediately when I see things like this, I go to Facebook and I try to find the person. I kind of want to see who they are in real life outside of but his Facebook page has been taken down. But
Our reliable source, Facebook.
yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
But that's what they're saying, that he was a white supremacist and was known to make racist comments.
Okay, so
I guess I can give a little background because I read the article. So she was dropping off a friend. She was going down the street, one-way street the wrong way. But she was like, oh, she's dropping my friend off at like a hotel or something like that. And the guy was fussing at her for going the wrong way. So he walked up to her car to take a picture of her license plate. She got out the car and told him to back up. You know, like, you get too close. And then she said she knows that he had a gun. But he didn't point it at her, but she knows he had a gun. So she went to her phone to dial 911. He knocked the phone out her hand. Then I don't know, she was defending herself, like she kind of like pushed him away or slapped him or something. And then he just lit into her. He punched, uppercut, left, jab, all that stuff. Like, he punched her about
okay, now
5,
I understand
6
why he didn't get
times.
such a bad charge. She touched him first.
Yeah, she did.
What was the charges he got?
I don't know. It's probably I have no clue. I know people were saying that he didn't get enough charges put on him, but I'm an equal rights, equal left person. Don't put your hands on me unless you want to be touched.
But to hit a woman like that though, over repeatedly.
He was out of line.
He was out of line.
I'm
Yes, he
not
was.
disputing
Yeah.
that.
Especially the circumstances surrounding, and to approach someone at 4 a.m. in the morning with a gun because they drove down a street that doesn't have your name on it, that you don't own, the wrong way. You know, you don't have the right to police me.
He did a little research on his own.
Well, it wasn't all in the article about that. But yeah, it seemed like he was unhinged to begin with. Like, you know, okay, somebody was going the wrong way. I see somebody going the wrong way. As long as they're not about to hit me, you know, I try to let them know because sometimes they don't
Flash
know they're
lights.
going, okay, you're going the wrong way, turn around.
Especially if you're
And
not
that's
familiar
it.
with the
Yeah.
neighborhood.
Right. Exactly. But also, and I know, Albert, that you mentioned that you don't put your hands on me first, but you came in contact with me when you knocked my phone out of my hand. And I mean, you possibly broke my phone, and we know phones today are running well over $1,000. I have a right. This is my property, and you've destroyed it.
I understand what you're saying, and I respect what you're saying. As a man, I don't condone or anything what he did, because I'm thinking about the other incident with the little girl that was in Texas.
Okay.
Not Texas.
Florida.
Florida.
Was
it
the
Florida?
McDonald's, yeah.
No.
What?
The little girl who was at the mall.
Outside? Were they outside the mall?
I don't remember.
Oh no, I'm talking about at the. Hold up. I know one was at a pool party, but that was a police
No,
officer.
that was a different incident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Did she hit him first and then he
Yeah.
knocked her out?
Put that hand of God on her.
Yeah, and she fell flat, and it was just like,
Yeah,
it was hard to watch.
I think she was 10 or 13.
How old was it?
No, she wasn't a teenager. She was a young girl.
He was a grown man.
He was a grown ass man, not a grown man. A grown
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
So this a white guy,
Mhm.
black
Yes.
girl.
Yeah.
I think I've seen that one too.
Yeah. I'm gonna try and pull it up real quick.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to see that one.
We can pause while you pull it up.
All right, pausing. Let's not forget to start it back up.
Yeah, let me see the
Okay.
comments.
All right, this is crazy, but we just
What-
paused for a second so they can see the video.
Right.
Now everybody wants to see the comments.
What are y'all coming? Because I think I'm going to have to side a little bit with Albert. Okay,
She ran to
Because-
it.
you have to realize the
Context.
society that we're in now. As a young black woman, girl,
She should've
you
been
cannot, like, you can't run up on somebody.
No.
I think you have to keep your hands to yourself because no one's going to protect you. I mean, let's just be honest. So, whether it's a peer or it's a grown man or a grown woman, you have to use some self-control because if they retaliate and knock you out, then people going to say you shouldn't have put your hands on him or her first.
Now, note we're talking about two different situations: the woman that was in Texas versus the young lady that was
Yeah.
punched at the mall. Just for clarification.
I was talking about, the young girl who was punched at the mall.
We can even call her lady.
I mean,
Right,
but,
yeah, because she's a child.
She's a child.
Now, I feel sorry for her. Now, if that was my child, I would cry. But I would also be like, we're going to have, this can be a learning lesson that we have to keep our hands to ourselves because everyone's not going to respect you
And
the
that-
way that I would.
This is the problem that I have in both situations. The woman that was in Texas, she got punched and entertained this person. She should not have gotten out of her car. You're in your vehicle,
Your safe place.
your safe place.
Mm-hmm.
Keep moving. Don't engage with people if you don't have to. Number one.
okay, that's kind of true, but you walking up on me taking pictures of my car, I need to know what's going on. So I understand why she got out the car. But,
It's 4 o'clock in the morning.
I'm speeding off.
well, it's
Going
4
the wrong
o'clock in the
way,
morning.
As a woman,
Yeah.
a black woman, at 4, I need to take pictures of all of this car. And that's the truth. I understand what you're saying because I would not feel safe getting out the car. And when I saw that he had a gun, I would proceed to get back in my car and may call the police while I'm in my car. But I mean, he had a gun. At any point, he could have fired a shot at her.
This is the part that my unpopular thought for the little girl and the grown woman.
It's going to be real unpopular.
It's no grown ass man that you're supposed to run up on and think you're gonna do something to, and that's sexist. That might be chauvinistic or whatever. But
But she was like a
But that's what I'm saying.
size.
But she, as a grown man, why would you hit a 10-year-old child like that? Why would you wind up and hit a 10-year-old child?
But
You
you-
have no reason. You could have grabbed the kid and like pushed her out the way, or just like held it to somebody. Somebody in her family came and got her.
Context.
He didn't have to hit her.
Right.
context. You saw the little kid that was behind him.
Yeah.
The little kid, the little white kid, the 3-year-old or whatever. That was his son or daughter or whatever. The woman behind him that was about the same size as the little girl. That was his wife.
I
My
understand that.
point being, I get you. Me and you were here. He's out of line. I'm not disagreeing with you. But you got a group of black kids surrounding you.
You
Race
feel
independent.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say a group of white kids around you, and they're hostile to you and your 3-year-old. Are you gonna let them come up and push you and hit you on the side of the head and come up and there's 6 of them? Are you gonna deal with the situation and get it over as quickly as possible? And this is why I say it's very unpopular, but I understand why okay, you gonna come up and make an example of one of y'all.
I'm
And
not
that's how I
gonna
deal with
wind
a
up
fight.
and hit a 10-year-old girl though.
If you're dealing with a situation where you have people attacking, you don't know what they're coming with. It
I
can be a little
understand.
Because,
shank in the hand.
you know,
I understand.
kids
what
Yeah,
you're
carry
saying.
guns too.
Yeah.
I understand
stress
kids
is
carry
like-
guns, but I'm not gonna wind up and hit a 10-year-old, a little kid like that for no. I mean, yeah. I mean, you may say he has a reason. I really don't see he has a reason to do that though. That was too much. That's to the extreme.
I can't disagree with you.
Yeah.
I think there could have been a better way to handle the situation. However, in the context that Albert is saying, I can agree. I have more than on numerous occasions seen children, I don't care what race they are, and I have come across children who are combative and want to be aggressive and think they're going to go toe-to-toe with an adult. And I have on more than numerous occasions said, I will lay you out, period. This fight you don't want, baby girl. Okay? So, and I mean that when I say it. Now, put my family, a small child involved in it, and we got major problems. So I can't even say. I can see, and I'm a person, I like to think outside the box. But I can see where you would want to defend yourself. And unlike the other example with the older lady at 4 a.m. who got out of her car, he hit her one time. It's not like he went to commit the beating on the child. Okay, he
Woman.
back up off me, and that was it. I don't know what happened after that. Obviously, the camera went out, but it looks like he hit her one time. He could have handled the situation differently, but when you are in a hostile environment like that, most people don't think rationally.
I mean,
I got my toddler with you. You could kill my toddler. If you're bold enough in a situation where this is from what I understand about the situation, they were leaving. They were trying to get away from the situation. You're following me to my car.
Or to the door.
Okay, to me, they was at the door, and then it's 6 little girls, maybe 5 little girls. What they gonna do to you? That's what I'm saying. Like, 5 little girls, I don't feel, 5 little girls not gonna threaten me.
Let me frame it.
Yeah.
From what I understand, they had followed them throughout the mall and harassed them the whole time they were there. They were leaving.
Okay.
And you're gonna come up and swat me in the back of my head.
Okay, so if they follow you around the mall, why don't you go get a security guard and like tell about these kids?
Why do I have to get a security guard?
Because it's not your place to hit this child.
If the child has followed me throughout the mall and has harassed me throughout my stay at the mall, and I'm leaving the situation, and you're still gonna come after me and harass me,
It's still not your place to hit this child, though.
I agree
What
with
is
you.
the court rules? That's what I want to know. Because
you gotta.
slap on the wrist.
I mean,
Because what the video shows is them being the aggressors.
Yeah.
You're outnumbered. They're swarming you. Okay. As a man, you feel that way. As a woman, them 6 little girls, it might have been way worse had it have been me in my family in that situation. Because at the end of the day, I'm outnumbered. It's too many of you guys. And once they get to jumping on you, I've seen it. You can YouTube a lot of these things where young people are disrespectful to older people. I've seen them beat up old ladies and do all types of things. They jump on them, they pull in your hair, they doing all this, and you're outnumbered. They swarm you. So, like I said, the situation could have been handled better.
Yeah.
So, this guy, how big you think he was?
I imagine he's about 6'3".
He about 6'3".
Yeah,
How much you think he weighed?
I put him about 250.
250. 6'3", 250. How big you think these girls were?
The one that he struck,
Yeah.
no more than 100 pounds, 120
Maybe
pounds
100
at the
pounds.
most.
You think he really had to cock back and hit her like that?
No.
No.
I know
That's
he
what I'm saying. So you
Oh,
think he
really?
couldn't have just took his family and found a security guard and was like, hey, they've been following me around the mall the whole time.
If it
Y'all
had
need
been
to do
me,
something about it.
I'd have picked up my child, I'd have took my wife and I said, let's go.
That's right. I mean, these kids not going, what can they do to you? Unless they got a
A
gun or
lot.
something.
They run
Unless
it
they
up.
have a weapon
Yeah, they
on you or
running up
something.
and pushing
I
on him, and then
understand.
and I think also we look at them as little girls. I don't think he saw them as little girls.
Man,
He-
I can't see him.
I don't think
can't
he
see
did
him as anything else.
I think
They got
I think
ponytails in their head.
at some point, I think this
All
way.
right.
You don't want to see it go. I understand what you're saying. What can they do? But do you want to see what they can do? Do you want that to happen? Do you want one of them to come behind his wife and snatch her ponytail? I'm sorry, but you know what I'm saying? And she's holding a baby, and then all of
the
a sudden
baby falls.
it becomes something. Because now what?
It's
Because
6
you
6 or 5 of them.
5 of them, and they all around, and when they see that you're vulnerable, it's like, you know how anybody who's in a pack becomes like pack animals. Oh, it's a vulnerability, now we're gonna swarm, and now somebody's really injured. I would rather take the slap on the wrist and make sure my family is safe. But I think
you don't
at the
think
end of the
somebody
day,
was injured now with the hitting a little girl like that? They hard?
I think so. But I think have she had hit him, because that's what she was coming to do. Was it not clear that she was running up to do
She-
something?
yeah.
But you know what? We don't
'Cause he
know.
did
We
push
don't
her
know.
first.
She drew back. And
Yeah,
I don't-
but she did get
I'm
pushed
gonna need
back
to see the
first.
video because she
Yeah.
might have pushed him. She might have came up to him and pushed him again. Because then he pushed her off him.
when she got hit, she had her arm drawn back like she was going to try to hit him.
He didn't
I didn't
approach
see
her
that.
to hit her. Can we play?
Yeah,
it?
can we
She
play
was
it
like
one more
this,
time?
Like she was.
Can we play it one more time?
Charging to him. Okay.
Well, we're
I'm a
going
little hot
to do
about
this
this
one.
one.
Well, that's why I said unpopular opinions. All right, we're going to mute this joker so we can just watch it. And this is going to be us watching the video. Oh, whoops. Let me go back. So they're outside the mall. You see the little kid, the little daughter. And there's 1, 2, 3,
Push.
4, 5.
They swarming. They stepping up.
And there's another one there.
There's another grown one behind
Talking
them.
or something.
And, okay, it's like 7 of them.
It's a lot of
No,
them.
it's more than 7. Okay, it's like 9 of them. Shoot. He pushes her away.
Oh, they're outside.
And she struck him, and then he
Hold
knocked
up.
her down.
Let's back it up.
Here it go right here.
We
It
go
goes
slow
motion.
motion. See,
She's running up
She hit him, and then he got her back. It wasn't equal.
because she's the same one that pushed him in the back when he was turned with his back towards her.
She ran into it. If she wasn't out of place, she wouldn't have got hit. Don't be out of place.
Now, all this is setting up something a little later. I'm gonna flip the switch on the other idea. But the young lady that was in Texas that got
Pummeled.
hands.
She did.
Let's see if we can play this one real quick. She got them hands. My homeboy sent this to me earlier. Let's see, is it this one? Yeah, that's on Instagram. I don't know how to mute this one, so we gonna hear it. Can I make it bigger? Nope. So,
And they said he was drunk.
I believe it to run up on somebody with a gun.
Not the phone.
And regardless of her pushing him, she didn't hit him in his face.
That's right.
Ooh,
I mean, he knocked her phone out, and he repeatedly punched her.
Yeah.
But my thing is, then kick the car. My thing is,
Kick the phone.
who is recording this? Why is they not coming over to try to?
That's
Oh, he has a
it out?
gun in
You
his
see the gun in
hand.
his hand now.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not gonna approach you. You got a gun. I'm gonna call the police.
Yeah, she said at that point that's what she was trying to call 911.
She should have gotten in her car. And
Yeah,
drove
now,
up.
now he got a gun in his hand. I can see like not even stopping.
You could hear it across the street. I think that she made
5 hits.
Yeah.
I mean, she didn't put herself in a safe situation, but being outside of my car is my right. Making phone calls on my phone is my right.
I get you. 4 o'clock in the morning dealing with a drunk dude as a
I mean, no,
As
she
a
didn't put herself in
man-
a safe position.
as a man. I'm getting in my car and I'm driving away. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna sit
yeah,
there.
it's just
Your
not.
parents
I feel
never
like
tell
he
you that
already-
don't be dead right.
You're right.
Yeah. He was already unhinged.
like
She was
that.
looking for a fight. He was aggressive.
Don't be
Don't
dead
be
You have to
right.
remove
Yeah.
yourself from that
I like
situation.
that. I like that.
All right, so I'm showing these two ideas to set up a thought that's coming along down the line. And any more thoughts on this? Anybody want to share? Because I mean, I think it's two different situations with two different points of view, from a white male doing something to
Or even just
A black
take race out of it. Those situations are bad situations. That could have been a white female in the same incident. There are people who are equal opportunity. We like to climax things to be a race thing, which is real, but it could happen to the next female putting herself in a bad spot.
Because I've seen videos of it being a white man and a white woman.
Yeah, but my thing is, what's the charges behind it? Like, are
Those
the
have
charges
to be
gonna be
equal.
equal? That's my whole thing. Like, I understand if it's a white
absolutely.
male and a white female, but it's a white male and a black woman, and these charges are not gonna be the same. That's my only hold up on this. But like I said, though, who's recording this? Ain't nobody running across the street trying to help this woman?
is most white women play victim a lot
All
better
the
than
time.
black women do.
Yeah.
And a
But
black
they're viewed
woman,
as more victim
they play victim better.
But they're viewed as more vulnerable.
vulnerable.
What I'm saying though, they are, because we're viewed as beasts of burden, unfortunately, in this country. But when I say they play victim better, they don't nut up. You know, they don't buck up at somebody. They gonna
Not true.
not all the time.
Oh,
but I'm
okay.
saying from what I've observed
Overall.
Overall, I guess you got a point there, but I have seen some white girls go for bad sometimes.
Who are they around?
They're around black people.
That's my point.
No, I'm saying they are around black. I'm not saying they hang with black people. I have seen some white women like, hey, like, try me. You want to. Around black people, they're not scared. So
Yeah, because they know if you nut up and do something stupid, you're gonna
They
catch
gonna
the
cry.
fool.
They gonna
They
cry
gonna play
white
victim.
tears.
You're gonna be
White
wind up.
privilege activated.
What's the
Like,
movie you
oh
had
my
me
God.
watch?
It's like, okay.
The movie where they took the brains out of the black people
Get Out.
and the police car at the very end. The
Oh,
police
yeah.
car come. Help.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
Switched it on real quick.
This monster, he killed my family.
yeah,
Now you just done took the brains out of like 20 black folks and gave them to white folks. But okay.
like
All right. So we'll take a slight break from this heated discussion. This will be
yeah.
the first 20 minutes of what we talked about was about something interesting, but this is going to set up the next session. So, Unpopular Opinion 601, Session 5. break time.
Alright, I'm going to go.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is Unpopular Opinion 601. We're starting back, and we're gonna have you do your thoughts.
What I was saying is that at this time, in the climate that we're in right now, of course, I want to say that what happened to both of the young ladies that we're talking about is just, completely wrong. And that so often when we are the victims in a certain circumstance, there's a character assassination that follows that. Instead of us dealing with facts, or the media dealing with the facts of the situation and seeing it for what it is, it goes all into someone's background and who they were. And everyone's made mistakes and things of that nature. That does not make it okay in the situation that happened right now where I was victimized. And that's what I hate to see a lot of times. No, it doesn't mean that when we're wrong, we're not wrong, And sometimes, in certain instances, we are dead wrong. But it's not all the time. And we don't get that time or that opportunity to just be the victim. And none of the dirt that I did in grade school come to hit me and follow me up into that moment. So.
Okay. Now, this is one that I remember from last year. There were two incidents. There was the woman that was killed in jail, and then a couple weeks later, there was the woman that was in Baltimore that got shot in her house. And, she had gotten in trouble a few weeks before for basically trying to be a sovereign citizen. And, sovereign citizen is one of those people that don't believe they need no paperwork to exist in life. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if she was crazy or what her deal was.
Wasn't her children in the house with her?
Mm-hmm.
Right, okay.
And she got pulled over a few weeks before by an officer for not having tags on her car. Relatively new car, not but she was arguing with the officer, and then they came to her house maybe a month or so later and tried to serve her some paperwork, and she basically ended up getting shot. I don't remember the situation exactly, and it brought them to some kind of way because of the situation, but people were trying to equate that to the Michael Brown situation where he got shot on the street. The hands up, don't shoot. And I was trying to equate the situations to be equivalent to each other, but they're not. And, I'll just... one of those things I had problems processing. Just a bad situation all around. And basically what I wanted to take this, and one of the things I sent out was shift. And shift, if you're not familiar with the term, is shit hitting the fan. And what I put out there was in terms of a financial collapse or a disaster. Now, we were talking about automation and people being put out of work, and all this goes in kind of the same vein, in the sense that if we have something that stops people's way of life from being normal, and we have to deal with the situations of we're a minority population. So, number one, it's like 10 to 1 right now.
10 to 1 meaning?
For every other person that's in the country, there's 10 of them to 1 of us. Okay. And then we also have the disadvantage of how many of us are also going to be buck wild and not thinking as a unit or thinking in terms of we need to function in a certain way. So, with the situation being what it is, I don't think all white people are bad. So I'm not putting that out there. I have associates, and I've had positive experiences with white folks since childhood. It's not nothing that I can say I have a bone to pick. But I've also had some instances where I've been around people who are on that white supremacist tip. Sometimes visiting and traveling between states. I can't say I've had any experience here in Mississippi, but I have had that experience in Louisiana where 3 white men approached my dad, and if I hadn't been there, I hate to see what that happened. They saw me and they cut a different line. I'm not a little guy, and this is when I was in high school, I believe. When we were traveling down to Houston all the time, and literally they come out behind him and follow him to the car. He's not paying attention to them, and I see them and I come towards his direction. Now this is something he wasn't even conscious of, but I saw it. So I'm in the context of white supremacists approaching. Most of the time they're not gonna approach you 1-on-1, but 3-on-1 they might do. He approached her because he was a man with a gun. He had a point to prove in his drunk state. Nah. But in terms of shift, how do we function as a group on what do we need to do? Now, I'm saying that if you go on YouTube, you can find thousands of videos about people talking about prepping and preparedness and whatnot, and like from knowing different white folks and being to their houses and whatnot, they got guns upon bullets. I was thinking about the situation, and this is going into the next thing also with the 2012 election. I've seen 2020. Thank you. 2020 election. People are saying that they want to go to a popular vote versus a electoral college, and that could be a potential problem because I believe that the electoral college serves a purpose. You don't want mobocracy or majority. If people are living in different parts of the country, you need different parts of the country to have their say.
Yes.
So a lot of people right now are saying that they want to go to a popular vote because Democrats lost the last time, and I don't think that is necessarily a good thing or one that we should strive for. So in the frame of seeing how violent some people could be, as you said, it could be race independent, in the thought pattern of shit hitting the fan and needing to survive, what are your thoughts? Is this too big of a topic? Do we need to back it up or do some more research?
I think I probably need to do some more research, but I see where you're going with it, I think a little bit, but so you're saying like we as a people like financially prepared, being prepared for a bad situation for any amount of time.
Whether it be financially, resources.
I completely agree.
So
Sometimes I think we set ourselves up to be at the disadvantage.
Because, all right, think about like Hurricane Katrina. Okay, now it's a bad situation for those folks that were in New Orleans.
Don't forget Mississippi Gulf Coast.
Oh yeah, they got hit hard, but I'm just saying for the folks that were in New Orleans, they were trapped, and like I'm using them in particular because like they were not allowing the people to even leave.
Yeah, at a certain point, they weren't allowed to leave.
So you're trapped in a flooded area. You got 6 foot of water around you, and there's some dry land over there. They got guns, and they say you can't come over here. And that happened.
That did happen because that happened across the river in Gretna, because people was trying to cross the river, and the Gretna Sheriff Department had guns, and they wasn't letting anybody come across. So if you didn't stay on that, if you wasn't already on that side of the river, they would stop you from coming over. They would send you back into New Orleans, which Gretna. I can't say Gretna is a predominantly white town though, but I guess I don't know. Gretna not a predominantly white town. I think it's probably 60-40.
We're in the region where it's mostly 60-40 or 40 something. Yeah. One way or the other.
So do you think it was racially motivated, or do you think they probably was like, okay, we have limited resources and we don't want to be overwhelmed or overcome by people trying to escape? Like, I guess this would be an unpopular opinion. Just as your house, if you know you have 4 rooms in your house, okay, you're in one, then you invite 3 other people in, okay, your house is now full. You can kind of be like, even though we're talking about a town, they can be like, well, we don't have any more room. Like, we don't, we can't help you in a sense. That's what I'm saying. I wonder what was the factors for them to be like, it's
probably
no
panic.
Point. Yeah, too. Like, there's no point in
pure pandemonium and panic. Here. It's like everyone's rushing, and then you don't have hotels are already full because the people who took fair warning left, and they got out. And then everything's off the shelves because people who planned appropriately cleared the grocery stores. We know that. I'm coming from Virginia. Hurricane season come. You can't get bottled water. As soon as the first alert goes out, weeks out, they start clearing the shelves. There's nothing. So when all those people come, where do they go?
Right.
And what happens?
And how can you safely accommodate them?
All right, this is my take on it. This is a national disaster, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but in a national disaster, they tell you 3 days you got to be able to take care of yourself.
But this is a national disaster, and like you said, this area is over here is dry. How you gonna stop these people who in the area they just come from is flooded with water? You can't. How are you gonna turn them around?
Easy.
As a human being, how you gonna turn them around?
Easy. It's been proven to been done.
But guess what? It has been done. But guess what? You're not giving them shelter. I mean, you want to give them shelter. Maybe they're looking for shelter.
That's the nature of my
area
question.
is dry.
That's the nature of my question.
Because after Katrina hit, it did not rain for months.
That's the nature of my question. What do we do as a group and or as an individual to prepare for a shit hitting the fan situation?
Okay, for us, like us, blacks, like, you know, they saying like revolution. People always say revolution come. You got to pick side. I'm just taking it there real quick.
Okay.
So you have to pick side. You know, we white, blacks against each other. We not in the. We can't do that though. We have no resources though.
I don't think you have to be against another race, and I think that's something that's kind of pinned on us too. We be like Black Lives Matter, or, you know, be pro-black. Me being pro-black does not dismiss other races. I'm pro-black.
Yeah.
So I get what you're saying,
but it doesn't have to become to a racial issue for us to be motivated. I feel like sometimes it's like we need to be driven by someone chasing us type deal. Like it's us against the white people. So now we need to prepare. We need to be prepared anyway. All people should be prepared anyway. But of course, in the state of us just embracing ourselves and our culture, yes, we need to be more prepared. The people in Katrina knew in advance that a hurricane was coming, that things were going to happen. But you got to be in a financial situation to have enough gas to put in your car, or to even have a car, to just say, even if I don't have someplace to stay, I can get myself mobile, and move myself out of this area. If I got to sleep in my car for a week, but at least I have the resources to move myself out of this area. But when you have nothing, and then you remain, and then now you are the victim of those circumstances, what? Why does it make it okay for you to be a burden on the closest entity nearby? I think it's kind of like, you know, if that county or that town cannot support you, but you didn't put yourself in a good situation, you accountable to self. That's kind of what I took from it, you know. And I'm about that. I'm all about making sure you put yourself and you do the right things, whether it's getting an education, getting a job, how you operate on your job to move up, to get more money, to get more resources. This is just the way of life. It's the cycle. That's it. The strong survive.
Okay, so the people in New Orleans, they told them they didn't think the storm was gonna be that bad. First of all, not to the magnitude that was there.
Katrina went over Florida, turned back around, came back across Florida, spun around in the Gulf for about a week, and then came up.
I understand, but they didn't think it was going to be to that magnitude. So they put these people, the people who didn't have cars, and like New Orleans is like it's like a poor city, really. I mean, past the French Quarter and all that, everybody really around there is kind of poor. They don't have means of transportation. They don't have, they can't get out. So they put them in the Superdome.
Were they shipping people out?
Yeah, they put on buses and they did all that, but the rest of the people they put in the Superdome.
For Katrina, I think they waited too late to evacuate the city. Yeah. So they basically evacuated them to the Superdome. Yeah. That was the chair.
It wasn't me.
So then I think once the water receded to a point, then they evacuated them out of the Superdome into Houston and some other places.
A lot of areas.
They were even in Vicksburg.
Yeah.
They evacuated everywhere.
But
most of them went to
the Superdome didn't hold up though.
They talked about the plumbing.
No, well, they had it broke through. They had leaks in the roof, walls coming in, so people got scared and they started trying to get out.
Yeah, because they weren't using the Superdome, so the upkeep wasn't there either, right?
They use Superdome. Yeah, they use Superdome all the time, but they didn't. The Superdome didn't hold up to the storm though. So people were trying to get out. I mean,
so this goes back to my initial question. As a black person, as a brown person, as a person of color in America, what do you need to do to be prepared for a shit hitting the fan shift situation? Do you need to have food for a couple weeks? Do you need to have seeds? there are about 5 scenarios that play out in my head from time to time, and the lightest of them is a storm. But you got a financial shift, you got an ecological shift, you got a social shift that could happen. So 2020 rolls around, the one part of the country, as you put it, flyover country last week, gets mad because another part of the country wants to change things because they didn't win. This is a possibility. Let's say people excuse me, people get mad because their party did not win, and now you have martial law or something going down. Are you prepared to deal with a couple weeks of not your normal life? A month? What happens if the power gets cut off? What happens if the water gets cut off? Where do you go?
We take for granted too many of the luxuries that we have now.
Like you saying, can you survive?
If the internet went down, just think about it.
Or just power.
Power. I mean,
power,
yeah.
right?
Power in general, everything. I mean, I'm just like, it is.
Folks are about to go crazy because Facebook and Instagram went down for a day. And I'm like, to me, I barely noticed. I was like, oh, it ain't refreshing. Moving on. But, like you said.
A week without water, a week without electricity. During Katrina taught me something. Had me like, need to have some food at the house. I went through a phase where I had me some canned foods and whatnot, and was prepared for at least a month.
Yeah.
Okay, so you saying like you got 5 scenarios, and then there's one scenario you said about what ecological, right? So what are you talking about ecological? Just expound on it a little bit more.
Storm is ecological.
Okay.
Category 5 storm comes through and destroys some infrastructure.
Or even with the ecological, you heard, some of the things we get produce, and we're not able to get it at the grocery store. Then not only was that an ecological hit, that's a financial hit because we see, whoa, why is this now this price?
So let me ask you, are y'all saying as a country what are we gonna do, or what are we gonna do as a people, like black people, period?
It's a both question, but you can look at it from black people, period.
Okay, so like I said, black people, we don't really.
In framing this, I'm not saying what we're not doing.
Yeah.
But
what are we going to do?
What do we need to do?
Well, we behind a bar. I mean, we don't have anything to really. How many black farmers do you know now? Not that many. I mean, I know some catfish farmers, but I don't know people who grow like farm fruit, vegetables, stuff like that.
That's assuming you got gas to get it to you. I'm saying you're in a situation.
Well, I'm just saying, what if you? I mean, even if you had the land to do it, nobody's farming the land. We don't do that anymore. We like.
What if you have it like in your backyard? I guess
what I'm saying.
Like.
That's part of preparedness.
Some people do have it, but I'm saying like in the early the 40s when we were sharecroppers, we farmed all the time. But when the manufacturing business came on, we started the Great Migration,
and we wanted to get away as far away from doing that type of work.
So we left that behind. Well, guess what? They kind of picked that up, and they took over the farming. And it's a lot of money in farming. A lot of people don't want to deal with it because it's hard work. But so we are so far behind in that. Like, we don't make guns, bullets, we don't have any food. So how are we going to stand up to that? We as a people are lost, really, in that sense. So
my thought pattern was, you see all this craziness that's going on. I'm not saying it's everybody, but if it's enough of them that are thinking like that are, that hostile.
Right. Like you're saying, like, just even basically protecting yourself. So if you have martial law, and we see the movies, but they're not that far fetched as you were saying, and shit hit the fan. If somebody just come in your house and be like, "Well, I'm gonna take what I want."
What's the movie?
Yeah. What are you supposed to do? Like you're saying, you have to
purge.
Purge. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Purge.
It's just getting to that point. I know, Vince, you made the comment about, the people in New Orleans, they're poor. How do we stop our people being the majority of poor? And I know the disadvantages that we have. I feel like sometimes we use that as a crutch a bit. I feel like there's so many of us sometimes that I see that just haven't shifted our mindset to say, let's take every opportunity we can. We may not get as far ahead as the furthest, but we can come up from off the ground. And I feel like we don't take the opportunities to do that. We skate, a majority of us, we skate all the time. The company I work for, predominantly black, actually all black now, here in this area. I mean, the whole company is not. However, what I see is we get to work to see how much little work we can do and how fast, before we get out of there. Nobody comes to put their best foot forward, to be the best looking person, to get that next promotion so that they can get up to the VP and regional levels. We always trying to cut corners and skate, and I feel like it's a shift in the mind that needs to happen.
Exactly.
We really need to come together and start with the next generation, because that's coming up with these new kids, and really start shaping and molding their minds to progress and getting, coming so far. My grandmother is born in 31, and she talks about, you kids don't know how hard we fought for y'all to have these opportunities, for y'all to just shut them away. That's where she's at. You just shut them away. For y'all to have, to be in the schools with the top people, the people who are the smartest. Sit next to the smartest person in the class. Don't skip class. And try to get as much information as we can, but I feel like we just don't. A lot of us do. And that's why we are in situations like Katrina, where most of the people who were affected, black people, in the poor neighborhood, in the country. And that's not an excuse just to say, well, they were poor. No, but why? Let's change that mindset, that it's not okay for us to be poor. We need to change it. And we also need the ones who get up, we need to help the next person up. We need to extend that hand and not just say, oh, I made it, too good for you, and we need to help each other in that sense. I think that will bring us into unity back. We are one of the least unified races of people. You see Spanish, Asians, communities, they stick together. They'll live in one house to get another house, to get another house, to get another house, and then the whole family, everybody's a homeowner. Mm-hmm. And we don't do that. I moved out the neighborhood, I got a big old house. You can't come to my house. And I don't want your house to be bigger than my house. So, the mindset. It's a competition. It's not. When we are nowhere. We, the few of us that do make it, is like, it's not enough for us to brag about. We are still nowhere when the majority of us are
on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Like I mentioned, half our population, a family of 4, making less than $50,000 a year. Half.
Mm-hmm.
Half.
What's the average? I know you probably don't know right off the top of your head, but what's the average income for a white household in the United States?
Probably about 68.
Okay, what's the average of a black household?
Average about 52.
52 to 60. All right, so y'all say we are the poorest. I don't think we per capita or per person. I guess we are, but it's more poor white people than it is poor black people because numbers alone, there's more of them. So it's got to be more poor people. You see what I'm saying? You think all these trailer parks, what they fill with? White people.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not. Numbers wise, we're not the poorest people, but I guess
that's the argument, like saying there are more white people on welfare than there are black people. True,
it's true.
But if 60% of our population, I don't even think it's that high, but if
it may be more, but because it's more of them, the percentage is smaller. Mm-hmm. Because it's less of us, then our percentage is higher.
I understand what you're saying. So all right, so what we gonna do about it? That's the question posed. So
yeah, exactly.
I think we have an anti-intellectual culture,
mm-hmm.
and I know when I was growing up, people used to pick on the smart kid in class, and they weren't praised. If you look at the social selection and how women choose their mates and how men choose their mates too, it's not I'm getting with a dude that's a solid dude, I'm getting with a girl that's a solid girl, but it's a lot of ratchet behavior. If you look at the television and what's being produced, you got Loving Hip Hop, Loving Basketball, Loving Atlanta,
Housewives.
Yeah.
And what's the whole show?
I did watch Housewives.
Mm-hmm. About gold digging women trying to just get
and
as much money from whatever dude who's an athlete or rapper or whatever.
And what are you doing with that money? It's not like you built nothing.
Nothing. You're not taking it back to the community.
Burn it up. Might as well put it in the fire.
Well, some of them are, but I think it's just unrepresentative. Like, that's not the average black woman that you're saying.
But that's been programmed to society as this is what you should be doing.
Yeah. Well, I think it's programmed to black women. This is what you should be doing because, and then the reason I hate those shows is like how the rest of the world looking at us. They look at us like that. That's who represents us.
And this
it's on TV.
This goes
So
back
that's how they
to why the little girl got decked and why that woman got manhandled. It's not this is a woman, this is a female, this is something that needs to be cherished and protected, but it's neck swaying, finger swaying, I might push you, I might assault you, I might do anything to you, portrayal. As opposed to, okay, this is a woman and I need to not handle a woman like that. Oh, I'm out of line if I do this. No, this is a creature that I need to be wary of.
This is a threat.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna take another quick break. Let everybody catch their breath because this has been a little bit heated discussion. All right, Unpopular Opinion 601, Session 5. We've been having an off mic conversation that was awesome. We should have cut the mics on sooner, but that's how it seems to happen with us.
It was a whole nother topic, but within the topic of the previous conversation.
So, I got a couple more topics to talk about. I don't know if they're going to be as interesting as what we just got them talking about. But the other topic that I put in, did anybody watch that video I sent you on Jeffrey Epstein? I know I've been riding him for a couple weeks. You didn't get the video. Hell, let's watch the video.
Okay.
Okay, we're coming back after watching a video that was produced by the Miami Herald, I believe. And it's about 13 minutes long. I'll put the link into the article and the video so y'all can view it for yourselves and get your own opinions. Now, after watching that, my questions are going to be kind of interesting, so bear with me. There's 3 questions I want to ask you. Number 1, America has child or has age of consent. On average, it's about 16, if I'm right or wrong. I think it's about 16. Some places 17, some places 18. But let's say averaging about 16 in the country. The girls that he was targeting were under that age for the most part. Okay. Now my question is, to the ladies that are in the room, when do you have a sense of agency over your own body?
I believe it varies. Every child matures differently.
I have to agree with that statement.
Okay, y'all gonna have to speak up because it looks kind of
No.
One comment was that the age of consent or agency of your own body can vary based off your mature level. And I mean, even with hormones in our own body, physically we mature at different ages as well. So it's a combination between psychologically and physically.
We don't all menstruate begin to menstruate at the same time. Some girls as young as 10, some girls as late as 14, 15 years old. So
most countries that are in the Western world have older age brackets, but I think like Sweden it might be like 15, and I know in South America it depends on where you are, it might be 15 or 14. So I'm just saying that in terms of this is a world traveling man. I'm not taking up for him one way or the other. I'm just throwing out there that this is a crazy situation. And we witnessed the mention about 75 girls, but I think it's in the 200-300 plus category.
Because that was 75 based off of one person.
Yeah, that
And
she
she said
recruited.
75
But she
more
recruited.
girls. Yeah.
By herself. Who knows who else was recruiting for him?
And like you said, worldwide, it's probably women all over the world that didn't even get to partake or get their names.
Well, I'm just saying the reason why I mentioned the age of consent is in certain countries it wouldn't have been a problem.
But he doesn't live in those countries, so if he wants to do dirt, go to that country, so it won't be a problem. Where his home country is, it is a problem. And, for a man that of power, we would hope that he has some kind of values or standard, especially if he's making lots of money based off of what he can do. People have faith in him. Hopefully you have some values as well.
Well, you saw the pictures of the former president and the current president, and they allegedly
Former President Bill Clinton.
Former President
Yeah,
Bill Clinton.
we gonna bring out
Our real president.
our forever
Our
president.
Right.
To this.
Our former president Bill Clinton, our current president Donald Trump, were associated with him in some form or fashion
In the video.
in the video. So
But he's associated with so many people, some of which probably had nothing to do with what he was doing.
I'm
But
trying to
his
figure
reach
out.
is wide. But I feel I understand exactly what you're saying. I mean, look at, my great grandmother was married and having children at 14. So
Big Mama.
I mean,
And
yes, in a different time, a different age, even in this country, you were getting married and having children at a different age.
And that was
But
acceptable.
that's acceptable. But by our law,
Current
and
laws.
current laws,
Which
now,
are only about 50 years old or 40 years old for the most part.
right, which have been in effect most of his life.
Right.
And he's governed and under the jurisdiction of those laws. So
Right.
Yeah, I was just about to say that these laws that he fall under. So all is going back and saying, beforehand, this is laws he's under though. And I just don't. You saying about, I think you mentioned like him going to another country and the values, since he's a rich man or he has power. I mean, just because you have money don't mean you have values. I mean, I know we're not on this, but you can look at the R. Kelly situation. I mean, it's a lot of people who misuse their power. Once they get power, you see the real person come out. You're just seeing the real Jeff Epstein. He's a pedophile.
Yeah, and he had the means to go to those different countries and also have his private parties here in the United States in West Palm.
Go to his island.
He basically had a prostitution ring.
Right.
He had the young girls doing the work for him.
Yeah.
what's even, I think, scarier is that when you're dealing with the singularity of one individual, it's like, oh, that's a bad person. But when you look at his reach and his ring of people, and when they talk about actors and former presidents and things like that, when you start to realize that your country is governed by these type of people, that's scary. That is beyond scary.
Well, I know, maybe not, but remember the Pizzagate thing during the last election?
You gonna have to elaborate.
Oh boy, I'm gonna have to play another video. Okay, so allegedly there was a child pedophile sex ring thing going on, and this was one of the things that was supposedly in the Clinton emails that they were releasing that stopped her from being able to get elected. Now, in some of the conspiracy theory circles, they allege that she was, and people in her circle of friends were getting children and doing wild stuff with these kids and killing some of them, all sorts of craziness. I don't know. This is alleged. I don't believe it to be true. If it was, I don't know. There's got to be a special place in hell for folks doing that to kids.
My faith in people is not very high. I'm not surprised by what people do. Women, especially where we think that maternal instinct will kick in and the need to protect children, that is gone. So I wouldn't put it past her, seeing as the things that her husband, it'd be very easy to associate Bill Clinton to Epstein, just given what he did in his term in the White House. And then you have someone like Hillary as his wife, and not to judge, because women can stand by their man, but she did stand by him, very closely by him. And just to think that maybe
this was alleging that she,
I know, but I'm just saying, so with her standing by him during those times and what he was doing with Monica Lewinsky, and it wouldn't be so far-fetched.
That made public headlines.
Yeah, he made public headlines, but she probably was just there trying to cover it up and not let everything unravel and get exposed. So it's not so far-fetched that it could have been her involved.
So the ending of this story was a guy shot up the restaurant, and I don't know if the restaurant is still open, but allegedly, I have to show you one of the videos that was recorded there, if they still have it out there, a concert that they had, and the concert was kind of creepy. And I looked at it back then because I was following, I guess it was Alex Jones or one of the conspiracy theory people on the internet, and it was kind of crazy. And even if it's not true, the stuff that the guy had associated with him, that was his choice in artwork and things that were hosted at the events hosted at the site, was on the creepy side. Like on a ill in real life, if that's what you like. And I'm not judging, because I'm pretty sure there's something I like that somebody might go ill, but that was ill for me. So I bring this into comparison to R. Kelly, and like the thing that bothers me is like they did that Leaving Neverland or whatever that
Yes.
about
Haven't
Michael
finished
Jackson.
watching it, but it's recorded on my DVR.
Okay, so they bring R. Kelly into the news, they bring Michael Jackson into the news, and I believe Michael Jackson's been dead for what, 10 years now?
So 2009.
So
10 years this summer.
he beat all his cases when he was alive, and they're going after a dead man. I felt some kind of way that Oprah was even putting her energy behind that, interviewing those two dudes. I believe once you're dead, you're dead. You can't dig up his body and prosecute his body. The only thing now they're doing is character assassination. Even if it is true,
You should have got him when he was ill.
Right. Now, on the R. Kelly tip, I believe that the girls that were associated with him are at least around him still, and he didn't just throw them away and use them.
Not all of them.
Not all of them, but I mean, I think it's, even though it's kind of ugly, it's a little different between somebody having a relationship with somebody and somebody just using somebody. In the case of Epstein, he was just using them girls.
Just throwing them out.
They were receptacles.
So do you think Epstein got paid for this? Or he was just doing it like friends, like, oh, I got these girls to come over, they come down, he bring a girl in, massage.
I think the risk is too high for him not to have gotten some type of payment,
Because he was paying the girls $200, so it seemed like he would be getting something.
If I'm a multi-millionaire, I'm not doing something like that to receive money. I'm doing it to receive favors.
Yeah.
Okay.
His favor was when he got caught, I'm not finna sit in prison.
Yeah. And he had, like I said, his reach was so wide, he knew everybody's dirty business.
Yeah.
So he was like, look, y'all don't, I'm not the type of person you want to go down and blow the whistle. Because if I blow the whistle, a lot of people, my reach is long. So I'm calling in that favor. Everybody better come and make do. And that reached all the way to the top levels of government. And that's how he walked, like the video said. He had one of the lightest sentences ever known to have such an extensive case.
Yeah, he should have been.
I mean, a guy jacking off in public gonna spend more time in jail on a school playground. Is gonna spend more time in jail than he did, and it's evidence. And you can't tell me with the type of lifestyle he lived and the house that he had and all the security he had at his house, because you high profile, that it's not on camera. These girls coming in and out your house, and you ain't running no daycare, baby. You know what I'm saying?
And they think they have all that evidence, like day stamps. I know someone was like, okay, she's 2 times 8 years old. Okay, she's 16. So
in his handwriting, you got handwriting forensics. There's no way.
Address or date book.
They know he did it.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's
one
no
girl
question.
said I brought at least 75. And then
they describing the inside of his home. Very intimate details about himself.
Stuff
he got a mole on his booty. You know what I'm saying? I mean, really. So
I'm just saying, until I brought this to y'all attention, as black folks, we ain't never heard of this, right?
Nope.
No.
The only reason I heard about it is because somebody else brought it to my attention. I'm just saying. And then we look at the character of R. Kelly and how much he has been in the news. Now, my personal opinion is that they are doing that intentionally to character assassinate black people. And like the whole Me Too, Time's Up, all that kind of stuff, it has its place. And I'm not denying that women have not been fairly treated in a lot of situations. Not denying that, but it's like, as a black person, as a black male, I don't think we have that much power in this country. Not to the level that we are being portrayed in the media and villainized.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Because the only two people I've really seen take over media is Bill Cosby and R. Kelly. And it's been a whole lot of accusations that came across for other white men in the entertainment industry. And it was like headline news one day, and then you never heard about it again. Goldstein. Yes, right. You never heard it again. But
Harvey
Bill
Weinstein.
Cosby, they rode him all the way to the courthouse to conviction.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
They still following him.
Yeah,
right
still
now.
following him right now.
And at least from my opinion as a black male, it's like, okay, I knew about Epstein and I saw this, and I know he was getting them little girls for decades, and he got 13 months, and now Bill Cosby is in jail potentially for the rest of his life for giving some woman a drug, a Quaalude or whatever that's supposed to, from what I understand, Quaaludes don't knock you out. All they do is relax you, from what I understand. I never tried them. It used to be the party drug of choice, you know, the Molly of the 70s. And from what I understand, it was a horse pill, so it wasn't like nothing that you could just, I'm going to sneak this in your drink, you know. I mean, you know, he had the Spanish fly jokes, and then if you've never heard it, it's funny. But the whole thing is, I'm trying to get this woman to relax and do my due. But from looking at it from in the media as a black male and seeing Epstein and Harvey Weinstein, I'll play that Lupita video if I can find it for y'all, where she's like talking to him and trying to, you know, he's being creepy with her. If you never heard it, it's like, and I see the amount of energy that they're putting into keeping these black faces in the media. And you got
the Olympic coach, doctor.
Yeah, you know, he did what he did. He was in the news for every bit of a week, and he gone. And you know, he feeling on little girls for years and decades. Girl got a broke leg, and he said, "Oh, this is my special rub you down treatment." You know,
and she can't even run if she wanted to.
Right.
You're right about that. Well, like white males, they're kind of like anomaly. They're rare in their population, but R. Kelly, Bill Cosby, that's all black males. All black, you know, they
but we've been ostracized since day one that keep the black men away from the house, you know, because they gonna rape your white women type thing. Since way back when, black men have always been ostracized in that characteristics as being oversexed and things of that nature.
Female.
So, yeah.
What
and I think this
was
is
that?
just
Was it with? I'm sorry, I can't think of his name, but he had Candyland and.
Oh! You talking about Django?
Yeah, and then you know, black women was oversexualized in that. I mean, it's
yes.
plenty. It's plenty. Take your pick. But that just popped in my head.
Well, if you look at the historical portrayal of black women, you got the Mammy, the Jezebel, and there's one other caricature that they have. But the Mammy and the Jezebel. So the Mammy being the fat, black, unattractive woman.
Clean your house and clean your
kids. And the Jezebel being the sexually promiscuous and easy trolloper thought in our today culture terminology. And there's a couple other big ones that are character tropes, but I can't.
Those are the top two.
So you got the choice of being a sex pot or being ish as far as sexuality. So, go ahead.
I mean, but I'm just like, you know, piggybacking on what you said. They always trying to keep us down. So, you R. Kelly and Bill Clinton is highly publicized when just Jeffrey Epstein slipped through the cracks. I mean, it's gonna happen like that. But like I said, they just trying to keep us down. So anything to, discredit us and make us look bad, they gonna do. They gonna put out in the media. Like you say, it's plenty. I mean, even like you saying R. Kelly did all this. I mean, you think R. Kelly was the only entertainer that did this? Jerry Lee Lewis, the Beatles. You think they wasn't fooling young girls?
Elvis Presley.
Elvis Presley married the young.
14.
What's the guy that married his little stepdaughter?
Woody
Allen. She was 13 years old. I mean, this has been going on since beginning. But we are the bad ones. That's what they put us out to be. So I mean,
and we don't, like you said, how many of us knew? You know, we bandwagon ourselves too, and we jump in on what is relatable to us. Oh, he's black, so we gonna chime in. And believe me, I'm a mute R. Kelly person, but I have an 11-year-old daughter, so I'm biased. I can't.
You know? Also, with you being biased, okay, so you have an 11-year-old daughter. My take on this is, he has a history. Are you gonna put your daughter in a situation where she's gonna be victimized? Would you be dropping her off at his house?
Right.
Would you take her to the concert and force her on the stage with? You see what I'm saying? They said the daddy told them that he want his daughter to go on stage. Well, taking his daughter to a concert, talking about a family trip. A 16-year-old girl, and this is R. Kelly. You know R. Kelly music. Well, you know that's all he talking about is having sex. So you gonna take your daughter, a 16-year-old?
No, that's what it is.
Come on.
I'm not even. If my
He
daughter
wrote
is,
it, didn't he?
Yeah.
Or produced it.
AJ,
Ain't nothing but a
Yeah.
Or,
Just
I mean,
saying.
my child wants to do music. She's 13, 14 years old. You can do music, baby, but R. Kelly ain't going to be your producer.
That's right.
Y'all in two different genres, in two different worlds, you know?
Right.
So I do hold the parents accountable, especially the
have to.
ones that brought their child around him. That's just an inappropriate setup from the beginning.
Who remembers Vibe?
I
The
remember,
magazine?
Yeah.
No, not the magazine, the song.
The song, yeah.
Who's
I
got that vibe? Little Leah's got that vibe. How old was Aaliyah when that song came out?
Oh man, I don't know.
Underage.
I'm way underage.
I mean, but
I'm just saying, it's not nothing new.
He has
No,
a
it's not
history.
that. It's not.
Don't
Yeah.
put your child in that situation. You are the guardian at this point.
Yeah. You wouldn't take your child over a sex offender's house and leave them there to stay. So why would you do it to R. Kelly? I mean, it's just.
And most of the parents did it for their own gain. They
Yeah.
played the drums. They, played the guitar. They had their own music they wanted him to listen to. I think that's just great.
And like R. Kelly said, and I don't know if it's true or not, but they all wanted money. And he said when he stopped paying them, that's when all this came out. It's all come out at the same time.
I think on the show it said one of the girls accepted $1,000. $1,000 for silence.
Yeah,
And the little, the little young girl in the video, the infamous video. How do you, as parents, I don't care about what, deny that. You have this man in court, and that's not her. That's not my child. That's not her. I couldn't stand in the same room with this man.
I mean, you kind of look at them. They probably was embarrassed. You know, I'm just looking from their side. They probably
They're
embarrassed.
trying to like protect.
Yeah,
My
they're trying to take-
anger would
And I
supersede.
I understand what you're
And
saying.
that's just my personal.
I understand
stuff.
what you're saying, but the parents are probably embarrassed.
Now everybody in here
You're
been
supposed to be
15.
able to take care of your child. Look what
Everybody
happened
been
to
15.
Right.
Everybody know that fast girl that was doing it at 13 or 14, 15 just came on by. So I'm not saying that every little girl that gets involved into a sexual situation is
But with
fast.
grown men, I knew
Right.
a lot of young girls at 12, 13, 14 years old having sex with other 13, 14-year-old, sorry, little boys. But 30 and 40-year-old man,
I knew girls.
I
that
knew
was-
girls. I knew girls. It was
It was
13, 14
popular
years old.
to have the older boyfriend.
That's right.
well, I
And they
always
would
had the
come-
older boyfriend. But I'm talking
But-
about within reason. You're talking about 4 or 5 years, not.
No, I'm talking about like
I'm
a
talking
college.
about 10 years.
Yeah, like a college and a middle school.
Right. I
Yeah.
remember.
Like that's
when
still
I
how you
was in
say
high
it's
school, the
pedophile.
college guys
Yeah.
would come and pick up the girls from the
That's
school.
right. That's what I'm saying. I'm talking about 9th grade. Let's come and pick up.
Right.
Well, I know in our
he a
house,
junior.
if I can't take you home to my mama, I can't talk to you.
Right.
Yeah, but everybody's house ain't like that. Though.
That's, that we can go back all the way. All the way earlier, and we were talking about the little girl getting hit in the face, the little 13-year-old girl. Now, if a man had did that, he probably would have come up pushing some daisies, and we all would have been in trouble. He'd have been in a field somewhere. But on the flip side, we know that you're not going to be putting yourself in a situation where he had any privilege or any kind of
A pass at
right.
knocking me. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was you gonna cut a rug and get away from him so fast and so far. Mama come and get me. You're not gonna be pushing no grown man. Now on this going back to, I think society is sick right now personally, and I think we have a chance, maybe one last chance to try and straighten it out. I honestly think the situation with the current president right now is a blessing because it's opening our eyes to the reality of the world that we're in. I think we were kind of put to sleep with the last president.
We
Some
were
people
with
were.
post-racism. They were saying like, oh, racism doesn't exist when President Obama was in office. And I was like, who told y'all that? I didn't get that memo.
I didn't get that memo.
But they had it plastered like on the front Times and this and that. And I was just like, oh, okay, so y'all finna feed into that.
He was our trophy
no.
president. That was that to subside. And a lot of things took place under his presidency and were allowed to go through without us noticing because they were like, they're subdued because the president's black. So they're just like, oh, and everything else, things were happening under the radar for us.
Look at some of them executive orders talking about basically the executive orders that were passed that were basically, if we go into martial law, they can take your stuff. So you are prepared for the storm? Okay, government needs it. Bye. And don't have to pay you. Yeah, really. So that happened under a previous. So, you know, ebbs and flows, ebbs and swings. But I don't know. We're having a lot of fun right now, but it's almost about that time we need to go if we're gonna catch some places. So, any other thoughts?
Wake up, people.
Right. Yes, we need to wake up.
Was it school days where you were ringing that bell?
Yeah.
Wake up! Yeah. Hey, get prepared. Be prepared. Be mindful. Don't put yourself in unnecessary situations. Instead of arguing with that man, drive away. You know,
don't be dead right.
Don't be
dead right and 6 feet under.
But don't be a pushover either.
That's what I'm saying. You have to be mindful of the situation.
Don't let pride get the best of you.
I mean, you're not letting pride get the best of you. I mean, you can walk away from things, but don't be a pushover either.
That black guy that was in the parking lot and drove in and parked his car and was at the convenience store. That white man was known for being there starting shit. He wasn't a pushover. Where is he now?
He's dead. Somebody because the music was too loud?
Not
that's what I thought you were talking about. You talking about Jacksonville?
Not that one. That was,
which one you talking about?
I'm talking about a recent case.
Where was this at?
I'm gonna have to look it up.
All right, run it to me real quick.
Man, woman, African American. They get into it with a Caucasian guy. He basically shoots the man. This is, I guess, the last 6 months.
Oh yes, the guy comes. He was outside arguing with the woman in the car, and then the guy came out the store and he turned around and shot him and killed him. I saw that.
Said it was thin his ground. He used that.
Okay.
Defense.
He want to push over. What's he now?
Yeah, exactly.
That's the thing. A lot doesn't protect us.
Yeah,
and
also,
that's what black people need to realize.
Life is so fragile. I think in the heat of the moment, in trying to prove a point, or in that moment, if you got one life, and you can be gone that fast. And what point did you prove? Because it's gonna be a little funeral. Your family and friends are gonna mourn, and then that's it.
You pushing days.
That's it.
He came out to protect his girlfriend, fiance, or something, but then he ended up dying.
So you telling me? So you saying what? Tell me what you're saying.
He had a gun too, didn't he? Did he? I
thought he did. No.
What are you saying? Just walk away?
No, I'm saying be mindful.
Yeah, okay, you saying be mindful. You saying walk away, right?
What do you gain?
So you telling me that your girlfriend's outside arguing with some guy, and you just gonna grab her and walk away? You're not gonna try to defuse it? What if he like pulling on her or rearing back, get ready to hit her? What if he pulled a pistol out on her?
That wasn't a situation, but if it's just an exchange of words,
roll the window up.
Nah, come on, babe, let's go. De-escalate.
Because that started out as an exchange of words.
He struggles with
that. That's a tough one for me. I'm just going to be honest. That's a tough one for me because I just can't see myself I'm walking out the store. This man's arguing with my girlfriend. And I just walk up and grab her or tell her, come on, let's go. De-escalate situation. No, I'm not going to do it. I mean, I don't know how many people would do that. It's just not.
That's why it's an unpopular opinion.
Yeah, it is unpopular opinion.
But based off of what you know, the outcome of that situation, how would you, in your mind, you know you're not a de-escalate type of guy, how would you done that situation different, knowing the end result was death for you. You died. You didn't de-escalate. You modeled a model. You died.
Mono y mono.
Correct me.
Mono y mono.
Because you don't know the next person's mental state.
Yeah. So you died. You dead.
You don't. But I'm gonna go back to I think this was a Tupac song. He said, what was it? I think he said, a coward dies 1,000 deaths. A soldier dies but once. I mean, how many times you gonna let this happen? You telling me you gonna let this happen?
Well, this is not a bully. I mean,
it's not a bully, but it's the same type of situation. It's not a bully like in school where the kids grow up and get bullied. But this is the same type of situation. So, I mean.
But what do you stand to gain if you die and you're not here?
Yeah, I'm not.
What does that put your loved ones? What does that put your children?
And I understand what you're saying.
I'm asking this question because it's a difficult question, and
I just can't see me walking away from that situation. Like,
but it's not just you, and I think that's a good thing because it's a lot of black men who feel the need, especially with the things that black men deal with every day, and feeling that feeling like you're getting beat up upon through the system and everything like that every day. And when that confrontation comes up against you, the pride swells up in you and you're ready to react. You cannot back down. And then what does it leave? More of our black men dead, more single moms, more fatherless children. It doesn't do us as a people any favors. You leave the women and the children unprotected, and that was the goal that you set out for.
Right, was to protect.
When you can walk away, get involved, get educated, and get involved in your government and start to affect change in a different way, because you're not going to change nothing in that moment. Nothing in that moment from you reacting to that situation that way is going to change something for the long run. That's just a moment in time, and it can end detrimentally for you, I think is the point.
So the question is, like I said, we know the end result. You did, and you're okay with that because you're not going to get pushed over.
No, I'm not okay with it. But, and like I said, that's to the extreme, him pulling the gun out. I just don't see.
It's to the extreme, but it's common.
We
so
seeing it, yeah.
You're going to have to do something about it, though. It's just not, I just can't see myself just like, oh, okay, come on. No, y'all all right. And just walking away from it.
Yeah. But that'll leave
How
everybody
would you
in a
as
better
a woman
place.
feel? Like,
You know what? As a woman in a situation in today's point in time, I mean, my mind has changed. And in one, I am a much more mature woman than I was a young woman. Okay? Older woman or young girl. I am. I want to go home at night. Okay? At the end of the day, I'm not going to sit here and a man who lives in a trailer park take the life of my man. I live in a beautiful house. Okay? And my life is good. And he mad about his shortcomings and the choices he made in his life. It's not worth everything I worked for and everything we built. Does that make sense? I want to go home. Okay?
And
I want to go home, too.
That's it.
Because I'm thinking like, hey,
I think
you might not handle the situation at the moment, but kind of like what we tell the kids, you might pick on me now, but one day you're going to be working for me.
Yep.
Like, you might not be able to handle that situation how you want at that moment, but live another day.
Fight another battle.
That's it.
All right.
And I love the fact that you said that about children, because that's something that I always like to do, especially with my employees on the job. I like to use children as an example, because so often as adults, especially I'm just using a work environment, we make decisions in the moment thinking. But I tell my employees all the time, we have children. What would your expectation be of your child if you tell them this is what needs to be done, and then they don't do it? What example do you set for your children? It's the same thing. You as an adult are expected to model the behaviors that you're expecting of your children, not to come to work and act like the child. You know, understand what I'm saying? I don't manage children. And I think in the same thing, when we're talking about, you wouldn't want your child to go out there and put themselves in a position where they don't come home. You would rather your child make a decision and say, look, what they said to you, regardless of what they said to you, wasn't putting their hands on you. You walk away and you come home. So as an adult, you model the same behavior. You perfect the behavior for your child because it sets an example.
Flip side to this answer that you're pondering right now. He walks out. He sees his woman getting.
She was parked in the handicap spot, wasn't it? Was that what it was? I feel like it was something like that.
Something with the parking.
Yeah, sorry.
He comes out. He beats the brakes off the dude. Stomps him, curb rash. Okay, now you got an assault charge. Now you got a felony.
And all your people drop you. No more work, no more nice house, no more money to pay the bills.
And all he was doing was
defending.
Well, he was the white the white guy was just talking, and then we come out and overreact and completely beat him down.
I put him in his place.
Yeah, I put him in his place. I checked him. Who's at fault?
When the police come, they gonna arrest.
Oh, they gonna throw the book at you.
You're gonna be under the jail.
Throw the book at you.
You know, I had an experience with a young guy when I was teaching. He basically nutted up to me and wanted to test my manhood. And I told him, I said, hey, I had no beef with you, but you acting stupid right now. And if I have to defend myself, I'm going to beat the brakes off your ass. Because I know I'm going to jail anyway. So I might as well enjoy this.
Yeah. Might always win this first fight. You ain't going to win the second one.
I ain't going to win the second one.
Yeah. That's what you say.
Because I, you know, not like I got years in this. I had to stop. There was 2 incidents that made me like, I can't teach. Not in this environment. Because it's just too much wild behavior. One, I'm gonna show you a picture so you can see it, not of the person, but of a comparable. And 2, that situation I just mentioned. Just like, I couldn't do it. You know, I couldn't be like. Much respect to those who educate and are teachers. Much respect. I couldn't do it. You know, I work with children from time to time because of just to give back in a things that I do. But to be in the classroom 7 hours a day,
oh no, I couldn't do it either. My patience is short.
I can take about 2-3 hours, but 7.
I mean, I've done it. I mean, it's not that bad.
Depends on the environment that you're in.
Oh, I was in a terrible neighborhood. Terrible.
It depends on the environment that you're in.
Terrible. I went to Dawson Elementary off Sunset. So, you know, I mean, I know you don't know if you're familiar with that area, but Lincoln Garden, all that, it's a terrible area. But,
little kids are different, but okay, I believe you.
Yeah. I mean, but
In high school, yeah.
and I had to deal with the parents. It was even worse.
I imagine.
I went to the house. Because I went to my kids' parents' house and talked to them, a couple of them, because like they was missing school. And, you know, I went to, as we say, projects and talked to them. I mean, they don't care. And when you got a parent that don't care about the kid,
it's hard to make a difference.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't care if it went to the boy went to school or not.
It's a hard place to be.
Yeah. But when I slipped up and got mad one day and told the boy he didn't want to be at school, to go home, and he turned around and went home. His mama came up there talking about going to school. Now, you don't care if the kid goes to school or not, but you think you're going to win some money. Yeah. So she came up there.
Motives, yeah.
But like I told the principal, who you going to believe, me or this second grade? Yeah. Even though I know I did it, but you know.
Allegedly.
That's so long ago. Hey, that's so long ago.
The way they predict stuff up, old skeletons.
Right.
Good stuff.
That was 12 years ago. I ain't worried about it.
All right. So this has been a heated conversation. We're going to cut it at this point.
Officially.
We only talked for about an hour and a half today or less. So, but it's been a real interesting conversation. And I hope y'all enjoyed it. Unpopular Opinion 601. Peace.
Peace.